Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming today to participate in this next series of Listware for Excel, the plugin we've developed for pretty much all versions of Excel that you can use to process your files through our servers 24/7, 365 days a year, and at a low cost that you pay per record, which means you don't have to have any kind of a subscription or any kind of a regular product update. You can simply process records at any time of any volume, whether small or large. Today we're just going to do a quick overview of the product, as we probably don't have time to go into any real details. It would probably string this thing out to an hour. So we're going to try and just do maybe a series of 10 or 12-minute ones where we go over individual features of the software in detail. Today we'll just get a brief overview of the whole thing, and then in future ones we'll go into in-depth detail on each of the functions. The benefits of using Listware for Excel, in addition to not requiring a subscription, allows you to process your records against our web services that previously were only available for large volumes and usually larger companies or enterprises. Now we've developed a plugin for Excel that you can just install into any version of Excel, and that will allow you to hit our web services anytime, day or night, and just send any number of records, no minimums, to process. Listware is divided into several functions: check, verify, append, and the move update. Those are the general ones we're going to go over, but there are also additional ones being added and some still yet to be added. When you're using check, you can validate standardized mailing addresses. It will check the address, standardize any misspellings, correct it to postal standards, add the zip+4 and additional data like that, standard address check. With verify, the next level of processing, it will actually first standardize and validate the addresses, and then it will check the names against the addresses against the phones, the email against the name, cross-referencing each of the fields to find as many matches as it can, to give you a greater degree of confidence that your records are currently accurate. In order to gain new data that you don't currently have, you can use the append. We'll go into that later, but that will use the name, the address, the phone, the email to search giant databases to find you additional information. So if you have a email and an address, it can get you the name, or if you have the address, it can find you the name, or if you have name and address, it can find you the phone. It can append new data that you don't currently have based on the data you do have. Also, it supports doing NCOA, National Change of Address, and Move Update, which is our own version of that same service. So you can find out if any of your customers on your list have moved and provided a new address, then we would provide you their new address so you can keep up and stay current with your customers. There are also now business coder, demographics, firmographics, and deduplication being added to this software. So we'll spend more time on each of those individually as we go through this series. To start off, to get the product and to install it, the first thing you have to do is go to our website, and you'll see across the top of any of the pages on the website, there's a sign in, sign out, my account type button. If you don't have an account, you can create one by clicking on that as well. Here we're on our free lookups page. Most people are familiar with this, but that banner is on every page. So if you go to melissadata.com, you will see it. If you click on sign in, you can see here it says hello Tony, so that's because I'm already signed in. But if I didn't have an account or was not signed in, I can click on sign in and it'll bring you to this page where you can sign into your existing account, or of course down below you see don't have an account, create account now. So whether you've used it before or it's your first time, you'll come to this page. If you have an existing account, you'd sign in here, and if you don't, this will bring you to the wizard to create one. When you click on create an account now, you'll see this page after you've created the account. Creating an account on our site just involves putting in an email, choosing your own password, and then it will generate a user number and consider you a registered user. Once you've done that, you can click on My Account, and you'll see your information in there. and it will automatically have generated a license key. You can see in the circled area, it'll have generated a license key for Listware products, and then you can choose your options on whether you want it to autofill credits or buy credits. We have a promotion currently where we give 1,000 credits, and if you drop below 1,000 credits, each month we top it off to 1,000. This way, if you're just using very few records and not processing much at all, you would probably never have to pay. If you're doing larger volumes, then you can purchase credits and only pay for the processing you actually do. Once you've created the account, you can go to our web page and download the Excel plugin. You'd simply go to the Listware page of our site, click on download, and it will download the installer for the plugin. When you run the installer, it will ask for the license string on the previous screen, so you'd want to copy and paste that license key, and during the install, it'll ask you to paste that in. That will activate the account and tie it into your Melissa Data account, so whenever you sign in on the website, it will know your credit level and be able to use those credits for processing. Of course, there's a button to buy additional credits as well, and down below you can see it says activate free credits. So as soon as you create an account, it will allow you to do 1,000 free credits. So you'll simply have to click on the link on the same page, which will take you to the credit page. For some reason I'm not getting my slides to switch. There we go. On the same page, there's a link down below. When you click on that, it would take you to the credit system page. And this is where you would activate the 1,000 free credits the first time. And then it will automatically top off to 1,000 credits each month after that. You don't have to do this each time, just the very first time. You can also see you can purchase additional credits. And the credits there are essentially just a fraction of a penny. So the system uses a number of credits for various different functions, different purchases and processing. So for example, the check that checks your address, that just uses 1 credit per record. So you could do 1,000 records if all you had to do is check them. And again, the top off program listed there at the bottom, every month we top off the account with up to 1,000 credits. So if you only used 1,000 credits a month, you wouldn't have to pay anything. Now let me bring up the product page here. Sorry, I'm having trouble with that. I guess I will have to do this again next time. If you go to this same credit page that's displayed on the screen, if you scroll to the bottom, there's a link that shows you every single process, every single purchase price. So for example, 1 credit per address checked, 1 credit per demographic added, 2 credits for verify, if it's going to check the name and address against each other. So you'll see that the more intrusive the process and the more data we have to use or license, then it will cost a few more credits for each thing. So some of the processes are only 1 credit, some are up to 10, depending on how much work it has to do. There's the page. Okay, now you can see that. So for example, move update, just 1 credit per record. If you want okay, there, now I've got it working, thanks. You can see it's the same credit page where you can see the credits. If you scroll down, it shows the pricing, so you'll know exactly what it's going to charge based on the processes you want to run, so you can get an idea of what it will cost. And of course, the software will also estimate the cost for you when you choose the options, so it will give you an idea of what it's going to cost if you run those records on those processes. You can see it also does global addresses. We'll go over that in a future one. There's Smart Mover for the change of address. There's also Canadian change of address, USPS change of address, global email services, business coder. These are all additions to the software that we'll go over in additional webinars in the future. This page shows you the exact charges you would be charged. And again, this product only charges you credits if it successfully does the process. So you would not be charged the 15 credits as shown here on the screen unless it actually successfully appended all of this property data. And on any record it did not append that data, you would not be charged. Now let me just open Excel real quickly to point out how it works. You'll see that once you run the installer, you'll have a new tab in Excel at the end here, Listware. And when you click on that, it will bring up the Listware menus. These we'll go over in future webinars in detail, but you can see US and Canada processing. You can also do global or international address processing. Smart Mover, the change of address services, it can do both US and Canada. We've now added the business coder, which can add data on firms, demographics, firmographics. Express entry is a address checker that checks addresses as you type them in. If you're doing data entry, you can have it validating the address with each keystroke. We've just recently added Matchup, which is a deduping software, so you can run sophisticated deduping to find any kind of duplicate records you have, so you can isolate which ones you don't want to double up, and you can remove any that are actual duplicates. And of course, there's a link here to the support that brings up all our contact information for tech support and any assistance you might need. First thing you'd probably want to do is click on Settings, and that will bring up this toolbar at the side here. And you can see I have pasted my license in during the install, so it's already in here, and it's automatically connected to my account. So it shows my account number, my account balance, and of course our buttons here to take you to the account so you can sign in and change things if you need to. Options for languages and layouts and processing under the add-in options. And a check for updates button. It will check for updates when you launch it, but you can also manually check in between. The options are mostly for your personal preference. You can choose whether it groups them by error codes or whether the good ones are bad ones. You can have it hide the bad ones or suppress certain codes you don't want to see. But all of these will go into greater detail in future webinars when we actually do function by function. So for this brief one, I think that about concludes it. We just wanted to give a quick overview of what the functions are and essentially how you set it up. In the upcoming series of webinars, we will go over each of these functions and each of those credits that we discussed previously and go into greater detail. Thank you all for coming today. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at this time. Okay, we have a question on the credits, and essentially the way it works is the credit system is designed to allow you to go over and into negative credits if it requires that to finish the job. So if you, for example, had the 1,000 credits and the job was going to cost you 1,200 credits, it would allow you to finish that job, but you would have to buy 200 more credits before you'd be able to run another job. So it won't cut off right in the middle just because you're out of credits. It will finish the job and then leave you at negative credits if that's necessary. Again, and that's part of why we top off the credits to 1,000 every month. So if you were only processing a small amount, those negative credits would be topped back off at the beginning of the next month. I don't see any other questions at the moment, so if you have any questions, you can certainly contact us at Melissa Data at the number shown on the screen, on our website as well. You can chat with us, email techsupport@melissadata.com, or call us anytime. Again, my name's Tony Deacon. Thank you for watching this webinar, and we'll do greater detail in the upcoming series.